Hello everybody, this is GamerGar and welcome to a brand new Stardew Valley challenge. We are now going to play Stardew Valley with the expanded mod. This adds a huge amount of additional content to the game, including a new farm called the Frontier Farm. The big goal of this challenge is quite simple. We want to get perfection as quickly as possible. Now I haven't fully played through the expanded mod before, so there's going to be a lot of scenarios that I'm not familiar with, but that's going to make it a lot more fun for me. So we're now jumping straight into day number 1 here, and we have a huge host of brand new mods downloaded, so check the description if you want to see all of the mods that have been used in this video. As we can see, there's a lot more crops we need to sell for the shipping bin collection, there's a lot more fish we need to get, there's also a lot more cooking recipes we're going to have to acquire as well. But the Frontier Farm has a lot of resources, so we are going to try our best to maximize the efficiency of this farm by grabbing all these resources and basically planting thousands upon thousands of crops on it every season. The current tactic we're going to use is the art of gaining skill levels. The sooner we can get into the mastery tiers, the sooner we can start breaking this game apart piece by piece. We will start with making a chest though. We're going to dump everything we have into this chest except the hoe. We just got a Pierre there as well, and that is all thanks to the expanded mod. We will run around the map and we'll pick up some forageables. Now, expanded adds a lot of additional zones that we can explore. We're not going to hit all those zones today. You'll also notice that the mod I am using isn't working, but don't worry, within the next few days I'll get that sorted out. Because we're using so many mods in this challenge, there's a few things that are working and there's a few things that aren't, but we do sort them out eventually, but most of them are just visual mods. Now I am going to purchase 10 salads today in the saloon. I was able to get so many because I sold the nectarine sapling, which is what you start off with in the expanded mod. I can always get a sapling later on and get whatever it grows, maybe it's called nectarine fruit or something like that. But for now, we're going to need the salads because we're going to cut down huge amounts of trees. We also picked up an item here too called Amber. This is an artifact we can give in to Gunther. I end up selling that because it's worth a whopping 750 gold, and I'm sure, fingers crossed, I can get another one later on without too much hassle. So hopefully we'll have no regrets with the selling of that item. Now we end up getting a forage skill of level 2 today, but the big goal for today is to actually get into the tide pool area, because once we get in there, we can pick up some coral and we can get some sea urchins. The reason why we want those is so we can make a bait maker as quickly as possible. And that's where the big money is going to come from over the next couple of days. We want to get, as quickly as possible, an iridium rod, a bait maker, and a fish smoker. If we can grab those very early, you're going to see some huge money coming in at the start of this challenge. As per our newer tactics, we will be aiming to get into the desert festival when it opens up and grab huge amounts of calico eggs. But for now, let's take it one day at a time. Now we made 912 gold today. It was alright considering the items we picked up off the ground. The next day we finally got access to the fishing minigame. Now we will spend the majority of today putting up huge amounts of fish. The mini goal for today is to get the fiberglass rod as quickly as possible. Getting bubbles there was extremely fortunate. This allowed us to get huge amounts of fish very quickly. What's holding us back now from getting the fiberglass rod is money. So we're going to pick up all of these forageables, we're going to sell all these to Willie, and once we get up to 1800 gold, we can then grab the fiberglass rod. Now the mods with the portraits still aren't working today, but that should be fixed within the next few days. The upgrade to the fiberglass rod this early is a game changer because we can now use bait, and that means the fishing bite rate is dramatically increased. That's going to give us a lot more fishing XP today than what we normally would have gotten. Now we got a fishing skill of level 4 today, which was very nice. We will grab the 5 tomorrow, and then we can choose the perk to increase the sell price of fish by 25%. And the sooner we can grab those money making perks, the better. Now today was a rainy day, but RNG wasn't really on my side when it was coming to catfish, and I wasn't really in the mood to reset days upon days until I got huge amounts of catfish, because this is just another perfection challenge, you know? We don't have to rush to get anything done as quickly as possible. We'll play this file for as long as it takes for us to get perfection. Now, a lot of new fish were got today. I got frogs, got tadpoles. I also picked up a book of power called Jewels of the Sea. It's a nice book to get early on. Anytime we pull up a fish, if we get a chest with that fish, there's a chance we can get the roe of that fish inside the chest. Fishing level 6 will give us the bait maker. Now this thing is absolutely incredible when it comes to making money. The next day I put up a starfish. You're going to see a lot of things that you normally don't because we're playing the expanded mod. Now picking up the combat quarterly was real nice. This is going to give us a level and a half in combat. It's nice going into the mines with that extra little bit of HP. We also picked up a strange looking seaweed there that we also need for the fishing collection. We sold a huge amount of fish to Willy, which have been accumulating over the past few days. We purchased the iridium rod. We've got about 4,000 gold left, which is nice. We're going to go back to the tide pool area. We picked up more coral as well as another sea urchin. All we need now is some iron bars we can make the bait maker. But first, let's grab the first backpack upgrade. It's always nice to get those extra inventory slots. We're going to get a parsnip, a bean, a cauliflower seed, as well as a potato seed. We're going to plant all those for the community centre. We're now going to go to Clint. We're going to sell him some rubies to put our gold just almost up to 3,300. With that money, we are going to buy 15 pieces of iron ore. We're going to smelt those into 3 iron bars, and then we should be able to make the bait maker, and that's where you're going to see the big money. We're going to donate an item into Gunther there. That's going to complete a quest, which will give us 250 gold. We won't say no to that this early in the challenge. For the rest of the day, we're going to take a nice stroll up to the lake, and we are going to catch huge amounts of fish. Our fishing skill is on level 8 at the moment. We're doing really well, and the reason for this is simple. We got the fiberglass rod quite early, and we're getting a lot of perfect catches. Lots of level ups today, which is nice. We made a total of almost 12,000 gold today. Let's check the breakdown. Lots of fish, largemouth bass, shads, bullheads. We also got some new fish there as well, such as minnows and tadpoles. I'm also selling diamonds, aquamarines, rubies. We will keep those when it gets closer to the Skull Cavern events. And I'm also selling geodes, field snacks, rare discs, things you'd normally keep and you would donate for the sake of perfection, but right now we're all about money. Clint paid us a visit the next day. He gave us the recipe for the furnace. We also got Demetrius as well, and we're going to go with the mushrooms, and it's quite simple. The mushrooms spawn every 2 days and they give lots of energy. You also get foraging XP every time you harvest those mushrooms. We're going to water up the crops, and we're going to take a stroll up to the mines. On hand, we have a regular pickaxe, but we also have a Neptune's glaive that we were lucky enough to grab yesterday. Now, the Neptune's glaive is going to make monster slaying incredibly easy at the early parts of this challenge. Eventually, we can upgrade into the iridium weapons and the galaxy weapons. For now, let's go and farm lots of copper ores. The reason why we want to get so many copper ores today is so we can make some furnaces, so we can smelt up our iron ores into iron bars, and that will allow us to make the bait maker. Once the bait maker is made, we can then focus down the likes of largemouth basses, catfish, and we can exponentially increase the amount of money we get on a daily basis through fishing. Now, it can't all be fishing. We also have to make sure that we meet the minimum requirements for the upcoming desert festival. So it would also be nice to get a combat skill of 5 and a mining skill of 6, so we can make regular bombs. Every time we fight one of those bugs, there is a chance they may drop an ancient seed. Now, it's quite rare, but more times than not, I have actually managed to get my hands on ancient seeds at the start of a lot of challenges. Breaking open all these crates are very important, because sometimes they can drop hardwood and cave carrots. Cave carrots are great for energy. Hardwood is great for multiple things, including the creation of the fish smoker that we want to get later on. You need 10 pieces of hardwood for that. Sometimes it can act as a bottleneck if you don't focus on hardwood in the early days. We got lots of skill ups today, which was nice. We didn't make huge amounts of money, just 1700 gold, because primarily our day was just spent in the mines making mine progression. So we're going to make the bait maker today. Now you're going to see some big money coming in. But we can't fish just yet. I want to make some more progress in the mines before I get my pickaxe upgraded. Once I get down into the middle tiers, and once we start farming up iron ores, we can then hand our pickaxe into Clint, and he can upgrade it to a copper. We might then chain upgrade that all the way to a steel. We also want the steel pickaxe for going into Skull Caverns. We got down to floor 40, so picked up the slingshot there. We're now going to wipe out some dust sprites. They drop lots of coal. We're going to leave the mines, go to Clint, and we're going to upgrade the pickaxe today. Because today's the 6th, so you don't want to leave it too late and start upgrading the pickaxe, because you want to have that ready and you want to have the steel version before the Desert Festival opens. Because we had the money, we got the backpack upgrade, it's nice to get the big backpack upgrade done as quickly as possible, because you don't have to think about it again for the rest of the challenge. We're now going down to floor 20, and we're trying to get some stonefish. But the main reason we came down here was for cave jellies, because you need the cave jelly along with the river jelly and the ocean jelly to make the fish smoker. We also need 10,000 gold for the recipe, but one step at a time. The next day we're doing more fishing. We're also picking up some cool stuff off the beach here, along with more forageables from the tide pool area. That's why it's nice to get the tide pools opened in the first week, so you can reap the rewards. After selling some more fish to Willy, we now have 10,000 gold, just about. We're going to get the recipe for the fish smoker. Today was Mayor Lewis's birthday. We're going to give him a salad. Now that I think about this, it actually would have been more beneficial if I managed to give him a silver or a gold star daffodil. Actually got more friendship points, so it was a bad idea to give him a salad, but you know what? It's done. No point looking back in the past. We're taking a stroll through Summersap Forest. As we can see, it has been greatly expanded. The forest is now huge. That's a good thing though. It's filled up to the top with forageables, artifacts, and other bits and pieces. I just picked up a forest sword there. If we didn't get the Neptune's glaive, that forest sword would have served us well going into the mines. I found a little fishing spot down here. I was getting fish you normally wouldn't get in spring, like the Dorado. I was very surprised when that popped up. I also picked up a new fish here known as King Salmon. It was quite the battle. A silver star was going for over 500 gold. I also picked up a pike. I might come down here later on when I have better fishing gear and farm king salmons to see how effective they could be. I also picked up a 4-leaf clover, and I read the description and it said that it's a gift that's liked by many. Now I end up selling it, but let me know in the comments, all of you lovely Stardew Valley expanded pros, if it's worth gifting to people. On that note, do not be afraid to fire questions into the comments, or give me tips if I can do something better. So we got level 3 foraging today. We can now make the cookout kit. The next day was raining. Today is day number 8. Now we have the bait maker and the fish smoker. We are absolutely going to abuse catfish today. We also have the iridium rod with the trap bobber. So these catfish are absolutely simple now to catch. We don't even need the trap bobber for these. We will go to Clint and we will get our copper pickaxe back. We're not finished there though. We have 4,000 gold. We might as well upgrade the axe now to a copper axe. If we want to get to Ginger Island as quickly as possible, we want that axe upgraded to at least a steel, so we can harvest some serious hardwood. For the rest of the day, it's fishing. We do spend a lot of time at this location, pulling up loads of catfish. Eventually, we head on over to the right side of the map, where there's cool bridges, and we pull up more fish there. We made over 15,000 gold today from selling just the smoked catfish with other bits and bobs. We still have a lot of other catfish that aren't smoked in our inventory that we will be smoking up over the next few days to make even more money. We now have over 17,000 gold today. We're going to go back to the mines though. We want to make more progression here. We need to increase our mining skills as well as our combat skills. We also want to get down into the bottom floors so we can get better gear in general. The space boots would be nice before we get into the skull caverns. Now if you're new to my videos, the trick here is that we will go down to floor 110 but we won't go past it. If we get the skull key, the enemies will get a permanent buff. We don't want them to get the buff. So instead, we're going to go to floor 110, we're going to leave the mines. We can still do skull cavern runs without the skull key, but only when the Desert Festival is active. That's the trick, you see. The downside is that enemies from the regular mines will not have a chance to drop prismatic shards. Because when you get the skull key, all manner of enemies have a chance of dropping prismatic shards. And that means you can get a galaxy weapon, potentially before you go into skull caverns. But I mean, the odds of you getting the prismatic shard after you get the skull key before you go to skull caverns is very small. So take my advice, pick up the skull key after the Desert Festival when you want to do more skull cavern runs. Now once we get mining level 5, we're going to get a nice perk there where we can increase the ores we get per veins. That's going to come in very handy when it comes to making money from selling iridium ores later on. We managed to get down to 460 today, which was nice. We weren't finished there. We're using cherry bombs effectively, especially when we come to large clusters of ores like that. It's so satisfying to blow them all open. Floor 70 we get the Master Sting Shot, and we're going to fight some skellies here as well. We didn't get too far into the 70s because the day was almost finished, but we did get level 3 combat and level 3 mining. I was very happy with that. We also made some more money today from selling the smoked catfish. We made over 7,500 gold, which wasn't too bad. Now the next day, we start with over 24,000 gold, almost 25,000. It's time to start clearing some debris around the farm here. The farm is covered in pieces of wood and stone and weeds that we have to whack away. Once we get this farm tidied up, we can turn it into a huge money maker. Eventually, we could come back here with mega bombs and we could just detonate the whole farm, but we'd be losing out on foraging XP that way as well. But we'll see as time progresses. So we activated the community center bundles. We also got a copper axe back off Clint. We're now going to upgrade our pickaxe to a steel. One less thing to worry about for the Desert Festival events. We're now going to smoke up some more catfish today. And we're going to start cutting down all of these tree stumps. There's an apricot tree right there begging to be harvested. We're going to harvest that straight away. It's nice to get those apricots. We couldn't get it before because it was blocked by the small tree stumps. But because we have the copper axe, we can go around now and harvest all of these stumps, no problem. So we end up getting a lot of hardwood today because there's a huge amount of stumps on the farm. We can't get into the secret woods yet though, because we need the steel axe for that. But once Clint is finished with our steel pickaxe, we can go ahead and upgrade the axe to steel axe then. The next episode is going to be very interesting. Can we make it to the Desert Festival? Can we get hundreds, thousands of calico eggs, purchase tons of skill books, and max out all of our skills in record time? All of these things can we look forward to in the next few episodes. For now, we're going to cut down more trees, we're going to try to push our forage skill up to 4, and then we are going to call it a day. So thanks a million everyone for watching my Stardew Valley videos. I truly appreciate you. I hope you all have a great week, and I will see you very soon in the next Stardew Valley episodes. For now, stay cozy and have a good one.